down, two of us.
Yes.
And then we got, nothing for unfinished, no public comment, no.
Nope.
Went over this, the Three Rivers carpet test in Texas,
Yeah, so just to let you know, the painting project over in Three Rivers is now complete. It looks great. Staff is happy. That company just got in there and got to work and got her done. So it was a pretty seamless process. So
Were they within their 7 days?
they might have been just slightly beyond. They weren't much beyond. It pretty much happened while I was on
That just
vacation.
amazes me that
Yeah.
much paint.
Yeah, they worked after we left. So we would leave for the day and they would show up and then they would work until, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the morning and then they would head out. So anyway, it looks great and I'm glad to say that that's done. But now we're looking at the carpet. So I have 3 contractors that I reached out to that are all local to Three Rivers, kind of. Constantine Floor Center, which is probably the closest. Then Wanky, which is up in Schoolcraft, and finally BoH, which is out of Sturgis. And so the bids are placed in order by what the total amount was. And after taking a look and reviewing these, I would like to recommend that we go with estimate for Constantine Flooring Center. That's got the number in the top right corner, 5553. In their emails to me, and it is this sheet next to your stuff, this Verano product. They indicated they provided 3 estimates with 3 different products of different varying traffic load, I guess you would say. And they recommended this 5553 as what they consider to be the best commercial product of the 3 estimates that they did. And they're local. The bid is just $60 more than the competitor's bid. I thought they were very thorough. They provided lots of information to me, of which you have some of, but I didn't, we didn't like inundate you with absolutely everything they sent. But that is the estimate that I would recommend that the board accept.
Since I've been doing carpet now for over a year.
Yeah.
With the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
This is tile,
It is tile.
so it can be replaced.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, I would assume he knows the weave pattern or the weave.
So this is a nylon. Yeah, this is a nylon product with a heavy traffic rating. The density is 58-59 ounces per yard cubed.
That's what I'm there.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that is the product that's in this estimate 5553.
Well,
Make a motion, we send it to the full board. Constantine Flooring
there we go.
for 33,763.59.
Then 10%, all local bidders, we're good to go.
And Constantine is the closest to Three Rivers, so, yep.
You know what they usually, as long as not subcontracting it out, it's still be there.
They are doing it all. The only bidder that had any subcontractors was BoH, because they wouldn't do the moving. So they included in their quote a quote from a moving company that would help them with moving furniture, and then they would just do the carpet. So I think probably that's why their bid might be a little bit higher. Yeah.
So we don't have to move in, they're doing all the manual labor.
They are. Staff are going to have to move their own stuff though. So if it's their own items that they brought in, they'll
File
have to.
cabinets and desks.
The file cabinets, the desks, the bookcases will be moved by the contractor.
Sounds good. Now we are up to audit report.
Do you have a vote or do you need a?
There was no take.
Well, he said he's gonna do it. We're gonna move it on to Tuesday's board and I
Yeah.
agreed. So all in favor, A. Good. All right.
Just making sure.
Nope. Yay. Gotta do the old hill dip gavel.
Jonesville too.
Oh, your Hillsdale guy loves that gavel.
Jerry Arnold.
Cream. Order.
Yeah. I about fell asleep going over these 50 pages, but it looked like we had a good audit report. Is he coming Thursday to do the presentation and all that good stuff? And then our internal controls all looked like they were doing good. And we only had a dip into reserves by what 130 or 50, 53,000. What was that? I think it was in here. And we decreased by 281,000 for our fund balance.
Which page are you on?
I'm just going over his first page.
Oh, okay.
It's in here further, but in this paragraph, highlight financial highlights.
Okay.
It is said that we are. So I assume that was for payroll and the 281,000 we dipped into our reserves. Is that how why we were
Well, we had budgeted to use some of the reserves.
right?
And I would have to go back.
Yeah, I think that's.
Been out of there.
But we still got a very, very healthy fund balance. And I think, didn't he go over the, our MERS, we have, is that part of that whole thing, or that different?
That is, Form 5572, so that's the next thing on the agenda.
Okay, yeah, I read it all over the other night, so it went together. All right, you got anything to highlight us on this, audit report?
Well-
Just want to accept it and send it to Thursday.
I think you just accept it and send it to Thursday. I mean, it is a clean audit report, so
Yeah.
it indicates that everything, looked good, and then we've got all of the requirements.
It's the same old jargon I've seen for years. So, okay. Then, you okay to send it to Thursday?
Yep.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Aye, okay. And now we got Form 5572, page 77.
So this is the annual MERS report, that we have, or it's an annual retirement report that we have to fill out and send to the state every year, so that they can make sure that our, plans are funded appropriately. And the highlight on this report is that, the last year when we submitted this report, we were at 83.9%, was the funded ratio, and now we're up to 86%. So
Which is very, very, very good.
it is very good, but it is, if you look at line 15, on the page 78, if you look at line 15 there, it's showing, an actual rate of return of 11.6, which is really good. That's way better than the previous year. I'm guessing that number is gonna go down in the current year, given what the stock market's currently doing. So next year, we probably will not see such happy. But this would,
It's only 4% to it, things will change.
but you are right.
I'd like to see those.
They want you to keep so much of a percentage, don't they? Above.
If it
MERS.
gets below 60%, I think then you have to do something special with, the state.
What we've done the last couple years, since you're new, we've actually sent extra money into to keep us very healthy. Anything that's usually extra towards the end of the year, we do a little maintenance to. It's kept it pretty good. Is there only 17 people in this program? Is that what that's done?
It does say that, and that's actually old data. Now we're down to 13 active, but when this report was, the time frame for this report was 17.
Very few.
It's getting smaller and smaller.
It started in 2015 that we went from that to the new product. So, But we had a tremendous amount of turnover during the pandemic, and a lot of people were getting close to retirement age anyway, so.
Pretty much funded and it's there to be used and stuff. All right, we got the grand pullback update.
That should say grant.
It's,
Well, it looks like a grand, but it could be the grant.
I wish it were only a grant. Well, I just wanted to give you guys an update. This will be, it's in my board report for Thursday. But the state did notify us on April 1st of one of the federal grants that they had passed through to us called Infection Prevention and Healthcare Associated Infections Response Support, quite a mouthful. Effective March 31st, that was being pulled back by the federal government. This grant for us was $400,000. We had spent approximately $40,000 of that 400. And although, it's really unfortunate that this grant was pulled, we had started making decisions knowing that the COVID funding was going to be starting to fall off. We had started making decisions back last year to not renew what we consider to be temporary, non-essential type of positions. And so we were kind of in good shape to weather this storm. We did pull our mobile RN for the mobile unit position had been vacated by a nurse that had moved to an internal staff position. And so that was funded, that grant. We had been looking for somebody to fill it, and we're still looking, but we pulled that. So we are no longer going to be filling that position. And as a result of that, we think we're good. We're not going to have to do any additional layoffs for this fiscal year. A lot of health departments are not in the same boat that we are in. So I don't know if you have anything more to say about that.
just that, we are still working on the budget amendment and really the numbers. I'm very confident that we're not gonna have to do anything other than not post that position because of the other attrition that we've had and some positions that have gone unfunded. It might look different for next year, but I think we're good. The remainder of this year.
When you say positions unfunded, you mean positions that were empty because we couldn't find someone to fill the spot, so money didn't go out. Right? Okay.
Or staff that have been extended leaves that are getting not paid. This FMLA leave
With full-time employees that were vacant, that had not been, helped save our budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was the update. I don't know if you have any questions.
Kevin? Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
We're going to go public comment. I ain't got nothing to add. This meeting's Thursday. Move to adjourn.
Got motion, we adjourn. Second motion.
We off?